Hello, people. I was going to work on the game tonight, but some stuff came up with the compiler that I got to do.
I was going to work on the game.
Whoa.
Tonight, but some stuff came
Echo.
up with the compiler that I've got to do. I was going to work on the game. Whoa.
Kill that. Didn't realize I had multiple Twitch windows open. All right. All right. Let's do some things. Boom. Boy, I'm sure glad whatever truck is out there is making sure very loudly that everyone at 12:30 a.m. knows that it's backing up. Okay. Thing one that I got to do is I made a change to the data structures and I forgot to modify our tests for the change. So if I try to go run the tests, it's just going to barf. Yeah, because there's no such member anymore because I changed it so that our messaging loop would be more efficient. When you get a code type check message now it has an array of declarations instead of a single declaration. So I have to fix that. 171 for decl tc.declarations. Boom. All right. Whoops, wrong thing. Okay. Also in program print, line 26. It's a very straightforward change, but if you don't do it, you got problems. Oops, that's decl, not dec. This is not a Digital Equipment Corporation computer. Why did none of our tests run? Why did none of our tests run? Did they change something? Or is it a bug about due to this? All our test files are still there. Oh, instead of return, these all have to be continued. Duh. Let me check my program print. That's fine. Duh. I have to fix that other bug sometime. All right. When we successfully compile, we pass all the tests. We don't always successfully pass the tests. All right. Fix tests. Okay, that's good. That's good. Why is my camera off to the side? I don't know. I just decided to change it up. Instead of having it right in front, now it's to the side. Maybe it's more interesting. Maybe it's less interesting. I don't know. Okay. The second thing we want to do, well, okay, I'm super annoyed by this shitty console's translucent background that it has every single time, and I have to change it every time I install it. Like, why are you guys doing it? You're just doing it to show off. It's not useful at all. Is it opacity? I don't know. I'm trying to search for things. Transparency. No. Don't do it. Thank you. God. All right. So what are we fixing? Well, we just fixed this, and now what we're fixing, as I was saying before I got annoyed by the fact that my console was transparent, now we have set up a continuous integration server like the one we had running for the witness, but that runs for our other projects, such as the compiler in the Sokoban game. So every time we check stuff in, there's now a server that builds those and tells us when they're broken. However, the compiler doesn't exit with an exit code consistently if a workspace reports an error. And that means that the continuous integration server doesn't have a good way of knowing if things succeeded or not. So now I got to go into here and look for exit. So if we can't start a thread, but here we exit 0. So here's what I want to do. I want to say if if the system any interp reported an error, then we exit 1. So now oh, geez. Okay. Okay, if reported exit 1. All right. So in here, well, do that. Mark, what I just did was not right because that's the same name as a variable. Signal that an error is reported. Okay, so signal that an error is reported. We set this, and then we say scope lock the system serial mutex. The system and reported and error equals 1. All right, and this is C++, so we have to do this stupid thing. I don't know where to put it. Just put it somewhere. Just put it somewhere. I'm going to be so happy when I never have to program in C++ again. It's going to be so good. Long time coming, but it's going to be very good. All right. Well, I mean, nobody prints out the exit code. Is there a way to run something? Is there a simple command in Windows that'll run something and then print out the exit code? I mean, I guess I can print it myself. Like, that's pretty low tech. That is pretty low tech. Exit 0. Okay, but now if I go into here and say x equals hello, x equals 5, exit 1. All right, well, that's good enough for government work. Compiler does exit 1 if any interpret reports an error. Because why not? How easy will it be to use C++ code? Well, you'll be able to do it. I mean, what's your opinion of easy? It depends on how many templates your C++ code uses, because, you know, we're not going to do C++ templates, so you have to kind of know what your structs look like post-templated and so forth. Well, those were the compiler things I wanted to do. There's other things to do. Oh, you know what? There's one thing that I've had on the list forever, and it's dumb, and I'm just going to check for it. I'm just going to put it right in Sokoban. Because the goal is just to check if there's an error message. I'm going to say Foozle X float Y float symmetric. This should be illegal. And it's not. Should it be illegal? I think it should be illegal for now, just to be safe. All right. It'll get it off my list. It'll be great. Just because, you know, symmetric is about switching the arguments around. If you have varargs, you're not a two-argument procedure, so what the hell are you doing? All right. Okay. If we're symmetric, symmetric procedures cannot have vargs. Why? Because I said so, jerk. Why is this not building? What's going on? Oh, it is. All right. There we go. Symmetric procedures cannot have vargs. That's great. Now, we get rid of it. And we make sure. All right. Is a symmetric procedure has vargs. I get to cross that off, which is good. Well, it might be time for me to go to bed. Short stream, I don't know. How are y'all doing? That level. Yeah. Yeah. Supported. Oh, here we go. Find support. Why didn't I see this? Here we go. All right, maybe that'll fix it. So what that was intended to fix was the time. There we go. Oh, wait. What? Okay, well, the movement is synced. It's just then the objects teleport back. See, I thought this was going to be an easy fix. That is very weird. Well, that looks a lot like, but not totally like what was happening with that mirror the other day. What do I think is a pessimistic timeline for saying I want to finish a game and publish it in 3 months? Depends on the game and on how clued you are about making games. Does this language have a volatile keyword? No, not currently. We are going to have some stuff to deal with threading, but we don't yet. This is so messed up. Stuff just isn't going where it needs to go. Well, I will solve that tomorrow. I'm tired tonight. Our scripting language is okay to use, generate maps with Blender based on algorithms. I have no idea I feel like there's some words missing in that question. Would they affect performance? Probably. Am I saying that threading will be part of the core language rather than the core library? What I'm saying is the following. Like in terms of create thread types of procedures or whatever, that's a library. That's not the core language, right? But what's going to be in the core language is some things to help, and I don't know exactly what those things are yet. One thing that might be a thing that helps is, hey, you can only read or write this variable if a certain mutex is held, but then that has to be defined in a way such that the libraries can make their own idea of a mutex that the compiler doesn't know anything about. That still doesn't help you with the highest performance threading, but I think it does help. Like having that kind of assurance checked in generated code by the compiler, I think is good. Another thing that will be in the language is some kind of atomicity primitive to prevent torn reads and torn writes. So for example, if you're on an x86 processor and you write a 64-bit number, whether it's a float or like a 64-bit double or an integer, I believe you can get a torn write on this architecture where if somebody reads it back at the wrong time, they won't get either the old value or the new value, but they'll get like maybe half a word from the old value and half a word from the new value. That's like really bad, right? So, you know, if you look at x64 assembly language, there's various locking instructions that you can use to do things, and we'll have support for that. And then, I don't know, we need to have some kind of compiler intrinsics at least for doing things like, you know, compared interlock exchange instruction and things like that. So that's kind of in the language at that point because you're guaranteeing that that represents a machine language instruction. I don't know. Maybe there's a way to make it kind of just be a library. I'm not sure. After I watched your libraries talk on YouTube, I thought about maybe doing the modules importing to be something like load, module ID, path to file name. Would this be some viable solution or anything similar to this? I mean, sure. I just don't know why I would force people to say what the path is. That level is good for testing the transactions, but it's also a real level, by the way. That is a real level in this game. It wasn't arbitrary. Why should I force people to say where the path of the library is? Yeah, it's a pretty good level. Dude, what are you up this late for? It's 1 a.m. at Stanford. It's 1 a.m. where I am. It's so weird. Yeah, this is going to require like a real debugging session tomorrow. It's like the thing is never physically moving. I feel like it must have to do with that thing I put in to finish everybody at a certain transaction ID at the same time. And maybe that's not physically moving the other guys that we finished. I don't know. I'll look into it. Will Sony or Microsoft let you write your own compiler for PS4 or Xbox? So the thing is, both of those machines use CPUs that are common off-the-shelf CPUs. So when you say write a compiler for those, mostly what you're talking about is just linking to their libraries. There's probably a little bit of stuff in the executable file format or something. But I believe that most of the specialness that needs to happen, like, oh, we're encrypting this for PS4 or whatever, happens at the back end of the tool chain. So I believe we can just generate an executable and then run some, you know, shell command on it, and it'll pack it up. I don't know. We haven't done it. We haven't looked at it seriously, but I don't think it'll be a problem. How would I not know who you are? All right, anyway. I'm going to go to sleep. I'll see you guys later.